So time will start, assuming there's no black screen in this game, which there won't be. I can see the text. Timing will start in 3, 2, 1, meow. Welcome to Black Mesa, and welcome to Opposing Force. In this game, we play as Corporal Shepard, one of the soldiers that you see in the first game. One of the many soldiers you see in the first game that are basically there to destroy and kill the scientists because they know too much. And meet Canadian Barney, also known as Otis.
Okay, Shepard, I see you found your power vest. That should keep you safe out there. See, now I've heard rumors that you troops may not actually be here to rescue us. Just don't forget about us out there, alrighty? Okay,
He is very well-mannered. Unfortunately, we have to kill him. Pretty shortly after we see him here, actually.
I was a wuss in high school. I know it's hard
So one quick thing about Opposing Force, there is quite a bit more waiting around than the original, the game you just saw me run. But that's okay, because there is a lot more things I could also die to. Coming up here, actually, very soon. And the area after the area I'm about to go into is probably the hardest trick in the game. One of the hardest tricks in the game for me. You have to get over a fence that has a very, very large kill trigger. There's basically a sliver that you can go on that won't kill you. This right here. This trick is like infamous. I've gotten better at it. And I've actually been getting it first try. That should have been second try, but there we go. That was okay. Was hoping for first, but I mean, I'll take second. It doesn't really matter too much if I take that much damage there. 26 HP is enough. Also, this game is run on, or at least I run it, and a bunch of other people run it on easy difficulty, as opposed to Half-Life 1, which is run on hard. That was hard difficulty you saw last run, I did forget to mention that. And this is one of the long waits. There's a few of these in the game. This is the first one. And yeah, in this game you have a pipe wrench instead of a crowbar. What do you think, everyone? Do you like the crowbar or the beefy pipe wrench better? I'm sorry if this is a little loud. It's really hard to volume balance this section. It's the loudest part of the game. There we go. And hello to G-Man. You see him super early on in this game. I like how the like every weapon in this game just makes bullet markings, even if it's a wrench. So this green goop on the floor does a lot of damage, even on easy. Like, I touched it once and I'm down to 17 HP. Like, I'm basically dead already. I don't remember if having this much HP is okay. I think it is, if I had to guess. But I mean, we are on easy, so theoretically any amount of HP is okay. As long as I have the right amount of HP and armor to do a grenade jump a bit later on. So blow up that box to get the robot to move through that area, which will let me progress. But again, we do kind of have to wait around for a little bit until this little gate opens up, which will happen as soon as the robot carrying the crates leaves the area and the door closes. So we can just relax and enjoy each other's company. There are also a few different tricks in this game, as opposed to the first. Something like snark climbing doesn't exist really in the Half-Life 1 route anymore, but it does exist in this. And there's a bit of trickery you can do with the teleportation device if you save and load upon using it and get teleported to an area. If PJC is still here, he's really good at this game. He could definitely explain that a little more in-depth than I can. But for some reason, saving and loading with the teleportation gun changes what map it ports you to. But I mean, we can always discuss that a little more when we get to it. This is one of the longer waits in the run. You don't have to be inside the tram, you can sit on top of it, which does save a bit of time when it stops, because instead of waiting for the door to open, you can just jump off. But I've never figured out how to do that. I've tried it, but I've never succeeded. So I'm gonna try not to die here. I'm a little bit worried. These Vorticons can hit you. And with 17 HP, I would die. Alright. That's always a little worrying, but we got out A-okay. There you go. And for those potentially not in the chat, I'll read what PJ said. He said, save loading whilst in the Zen quote-unquote sub-level will make the game forget where it's supposed to send you when you return back to Earth. So it places you in the default spawn point, which is somewhere in the middle of the map. And that, in turn, lets us do some pretty big skips using that gun. Yeah, you can do some rather large skips with it.
Until the train has come to a complete halt at the station platform.
So we're almost free from the wait. I definitely think the biggest worry for me in this run is like the beginning sections. I find them the hardest and the most likely to just make the run unfinishable. So when the door opens, you can actually skip a Vortigaunt spawn. If you walk straight ahead, a Vortigaunt spawns like on top of the train, I think. But you can just jump over the railing there and skip it. It's one of a few trigger skips. I'm gonna try to strafe on top of these. Never mind, I'm gonna fall off and pretend I meant to do that. Activate that cutscene there, so by the time I get back up there, the door will be or the window will be close to breaking open. So here's the last we see of Otis. Because we kill him for his lovely gun. It's a very good gun, and it has a laser sight. So I'm gonna be a little careful here. I don't have a lot of health. But I will be grabbing some shortly. Kill those Vortigaunts. I'm gonna grab a chunk of armor just again for safety. Come up here, go through the vent, and I'll grab as much health as I can. Since I'm on easy, you get a lot of health from these. I don't think it's 75, but it's a lot. I don't know exactly. And I'll be doing another trigger skip here. That wasn't it. That should have worked. If it worked, the soldier will still be here. Yes. And this game has another cool trick. It has item duplication. When you kill an enemy and his item drops, if you save and then load, the item duplicates. So I am now at max machine gun ammo. And the machine gun is very handy, because it's basically the Gauss of the game. It lets us boost backwards pretty fast. It's 50, right, thank you. Armor is 75, I think. Or at least in Half-Life 2 it's 75. I'm getting my armor and health values mixed up on difficulties in games. So I'm doing pretty good for HP here. It is 75 for armor. Okay, good. So you can basically use this gun and boost backwards anywhere you please. But I'm gonna be a bit safe, because sometimes when I do it, I fly off of an edge, or actually that's not good. I don't really want to take that damage. I want to try to stay at this much HP, just for my own sanity. I want to be a bit careful, because I do want to make sure I have enough health and armor for the grenade jump coming up not too long from now. There is another grenade jump you can do in an area close by, but you need a pretty precise amount of HP and armor. It was discovered not that long ago, but it skips needing to turn off the electricity. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just don't mind me chucking dangerous explosives around all willy-nilly. Push the button that blows up all the explosives, which opens a passageway. I find it amazing how these enemies get into all these crevices. Like, I mean, I can't get there. How did they get there? I mean, I guess Zen teleportation, but that's the only assumption that I have. Alright, here you can jump on one of the pit drones and hop over this. Saves a bit of time. Here's where the grenade jump is. You can skip this section and just land way up there and skip doing what I'm doing now. I've never ended up at the right amount of health and armor, though. And I don't quite recall the amount you need, but it's pretty precise from what I recall. So grab onto the rope and enjoy the really funky rope physics they've got going on. By the way, for those who don't know, this game is made by Gearbox. They also made Borderlands. And I mean, everyone's favorite game, Duke Nukem Forever. Hello? Hello, Shepard, jump, thank you. You did it. I believed in you. So right here is a pretty tricky jump. If you notice that you get in a little bit of height by that thing, and if you do this correctly, you can jump over that. Now this is another pretty tricky jump. Nice, first try. Actually gonna take the slow. Actually, no, I'm good on health. Never mind. We're all right. We're all right. I'm gonna say before jumping onto that rope, sometimes you can get stuck in the ground if you grab that rope a certain way. It's pretty damn annoying. So right here, I'm just gonna scare these guys, or one of them, into running forward. I want the guy on the left. He's the important one because he'll cut this door open for me.
This whole operation is out of control.
We got any Goknak or Cube Face subs in the chat? Good. You should unsub and donate the $5 to this marathon. I'm just kidding. Oh, by the way, this game has a much more annoying variant to my flashlight spam. It's very bright green night vision, so I try not to do it much. Shit, this is bad, actually. Okay, that's good, that's good. I have enough health, and I have enough armor for this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Goknak and Cube.
It's good to see you. This might sting a bit.
I love you too, Bubbles. I love you too, man. I'm sorry, though. That was a little rude. I do apologize. I do apologize for that. Sorry. Alright, I forgot to reload this. This is important if I don't want to die really fast here. Because even if I am on easy, enemies in this game still like to completely shred you. Alright. The worst thing that can happen there is the bomb getting set off from the random damage and explosions. And here's another item duplication. I'm mostly doing this for the 10 grenades. I would definitely want to have 10 SMG grenades. Then I just hope the NPCs cooperate and don't stop randomly. I can heal up a bit with this guy before he puts his attention on the wounded guy. There's a lot of, like, reliance on NPCs in this run. A lot of them you need to progress. Mostly the guys with the blow torches because they cut open the doors. Unfortunately, no clip isn't allowed in runs. So you have to use these nerds. Best joke incoming. Amazing. Who needs a locksmith? What a classic. Alright, so my personal most stressful parts of the run are behind me now. I can kind of relax a little bit. Those sections are all, what I reset on the most. Like, 100 times out of 101. I will, like, never make it past the first few splits. If I'm having a really, really bad day with this game. And it kinda haunts me.
Corporal, what the hell is going on here?
So, again, I'll be using grenades a lot to kind of scare enemies. So I don't have to deal with them. Dude, why is everyone spamming forehead? Oh, never mind. The joke. I'm so confused. So right here, if you do this correctly, you can get enough height to push the button through the wall and open this gate instead of like going up and around there. I'm really glad that you can push things through walls. It's very useful. That was a pretty good machine gun boost. So soon we will get to see Gordon Freeman. I lowered my frame rate by mistake. I have different bindings in this game than in the original Half-Life because I like to confuse myself when I switch games. Alright, so here's Gorgeous Freeman's posterior. There he is. A weird thing can happen there sometimes is when that explodes, it won't fall all the way down. It'll get stuck and it kind of soft locks, but a reload will fix it. And here is whatever the hell this is called. This is the teleportation gun, though. It is very, very handy. And we will be seeing some use of it very, very soon, within the next few-ish minutes. Ah, dude, awesome. Yeah, definitely stick around for Goknak's Half-Life 2 run after this, and everything else in the marathon. So since it's slow to use one of these at a time, just wiggle back and forth. And use them both at the same time.
I can help you access any secured area in this lab. Yes.
Bubbles is creeping on me, guys. I don't know how to feel, but you can't see it. So this is the best NPC in the game. He just keeps hauling. He does not stop, even though I get really far ahead of him. No other NPC is as awesome as this dude in the spacesuit. He deserves some mad props. No, he's not even whispering me. He's doing it on Skype. It's even worse. It's even worse. And another little wait. Gotta watch everything explode. Watch the carnage unfold. Then hear the breathing. There we go. I now have control. I hate you so much, head crabs. So pretty straightforward sections again. A lot of bunny hopping, a lot of just trying to not get lost or run into walls, which I'm pretty not great at. Oh my... I feel so uncomfortable right now. Is there like a version of Ghostbusters I can call, but instead of busting ghosts, they stop bubbles from being creepy? Is that a thing? Alright, so teleport, save and load, the map forgets where I am, and then it puts me in a different spot than it would normally put you. Which lets you skip a lot of stuff. It's really easy to do, and it saves a lot of time, so... Definitely a 10 out of 10 trick. My favorite tricks are the ones that require no effort and save a lot of time. Those are by far my favorite. And that puts you here instead of needing to walk in the facility there. It puts you where you need to go in general. It's called the police. And here are the cute little snarks. I will use these to skip a thing in a little bit. Alright, so the absolute hardest trick in the game is coming up for me right now. I'm like, where am I going? I hope PJC is still here so he can explain this for me. Because I hate this trick so much, I'd never even bothered learning how it works. I'm like, you know what? I got it. I don't care. Ah, this trick, dude. I have never been able to get this consistent. I've spent time practicing this. I've looked at videos. I've looked at setups. I usually just hope for the best. Okay. I will admit this is taking a little bit longer than it normally does. There we go. I got there. So lowering the frame rate when you do land on the slant does make it more consistent to not die from fall damage. It is the hardest trick in any game I run. I'm so bad at it. Believe me, I've spent time on it. I have got it first, second try before, a few runs in a row. But I still feel like I got lucky when I do end up getting it. It's a very discouraging trick for me. But we did get there. Doing that trick saves some ammo for the teleportation gun, which is good because it skips this area coming up. Oops. And here's a boss fight. And we beat the boss. Excellent job. And that skips going through that door there. And we wind up over here.
Wow, I can't believe you.
Also, my Skype stopped scrolling down, so I can no longer read Bubble's messages, so I'm pretty happy right now. But we did get there. That's always the saddest part of the run for me. Not really sad, it's just hard. So I shouldn't be too bummed out about it. And if I'm correct, I think that's the last of the teleports. Now these alien bug things can get really annoying. I've had runs where like all three of them are blocking me, but that was alright. I didn't have too many issues there.
Okay, check in. Check your zone. It's Shepard. Hey, stand back and I'll cut it. We're gonna need your help.
Yeah, like aside from struggling with that trick, this run is very fun to do. It is a very cool run. And it has a lot of different tricks in it compared to the original Half-Life. So if you don't like the tricks in Half-Life 1 and want to speedrun a Half-Life game, I'd recommend checking out Opposing Force. The people that run it are very, very nice. They would be more than happy to help out. Run Blue Shift. Haven't heard too many good things about Blue Shift, but I have seen some runs of it. As far as active Blue Shift runners go, I don't think there's, like, a lot. I haven't seen anyone run it ever on Twitch, aside from, like, Cool Kid months ago. So I'm, like, moving through this area for me is pretty hard. I tend to overdo the machine gun boost and run into a wall and lose all my speed. But in this next section here, there will be 2 snark jump boost things, whatever they're called. I think they're called snark boosts. The first one is much, much easier than the second one. The helicopter as well in the second area can get rather annoying. Alright, so those 2 wanted nothing to do with me and they just walked away, but the third one was very nice. I think the explanation of a snark climb is pretty simple. They're registered as solid things, and you can jump on them. Okay, that was actually really good. I did not have any issues, so I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with that. And I'll try not to bonk my head and lose all my speed there. So I'm about to do something that you should never do. Throw a grenade under a mini, like, nuke, essentially. And then run away. Because staying is slow. And then walk up to the glass, Barney will open the door.
It's not going to be easy from here on out.
And we are basically on the last section of the run. Snarks are pretty cute. This area is pretty easy to get lost in. At least it was for me when I was learning this. I'm just gonna play it safe, shoot the enemies here. I usually play it safe and shoot the enemies here. I prefer to not die. Oh yeah, that like one little spot is also ludicrously loud as well. The audio balance in this game is kind of funky.
Listen, you've got to get down below.
So I don't need to grab full health, because once I activate the cutscene where the boss starts to spawn through the portal, I can sit in a pool of water that has magical healing benefits, and I'll sit there until I have 100 health. Because that'll about line up for when the boss is ready to fight. So, for those who have played Borderlands but haven't seen this game, this boss will look pretty familiar. Which is kind of why I specified this game is made by Gearbox. And I have the sniper I will be using. Basically, the mechanic to this boss is you have to shoot it in both of its eyes using the mounted machine guns on either side. When you do that, the middle part will open at the bottom, and you have to shoot it. And that'll do 1 damage. It's a 4-hit boss, if I recall correctly. But if you have played Borderlands 1, this boss should look kind of familiar. Hi, Baby Eater. How's it going? I always go back to this side, just because I'm more comfortable shooting the opening from the left side. I know the angle for it a little bit better than if I were to do it on the right. So that's why I always run back instead of just staying here instead. Just in case anyone's wondering. And you just use the machine gun some more. Boost over the gap. Gonna reload it shortly. I do miss those sometimes. Sometimes I forget the angle. And one more shot. And we will be victorious. Uh-oh. Come on, get it. And... come on. What am I doing? Time! There we go. I had a bit of a brain fart there. All I'm hoping for is that I did not go overestimate. That's all I'm hoping for. That's all I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed. Aiming is difficult. Aiming is difficult.